the first episode of Gold that I dropped yesterday. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was really tedious to make, primarily to edit. I'm just going to talk about random things during this podcast. Since this is the first episode, I wanted to get onto like a running start, so to speak, with this. I'm really excited for Mortal Kombat 11. I played a lot, and I do mean a lot, of Injustice 2. And I think I'm pretty good at Injustice 2, so I hope that it translates to Mortal Kombat 11. Yeah, I know there's a block button. That'll be something I get used to. Out of the characters revealed so far, my potential two mains, I'm gonna say 4 mains are not, this isn't in any order, so to speak. Citrion, Noob Saibot, Johnny, and gotta go with Jax with like the occasional Cassie. I'm gonna title this podcast a podcast to be named later. Kind of a sports joke. Normally happens in hockey. But yeah. I plan on having my review of the first 7 episodes of Doom Patrol out sometime in the next 2 weeks. And then I'm going to be working on my Kingdom Hearts 3 review that'll drop after that. One of my favorite, I'm really into, TV and, movies and stuff. You might think what I'm about to say is a joke, but my favorite actor of all time is Adam Sandler, without a doubt. Yeah, he's had more misses than hits currently these past few years, but some of his movies are classics, like The Waterboy and The Wedding Singer, and yeah, I liked Grown Ups too. Many people don't. I think it's the better movie out of the 2 Grown Ups movies. I'm also doing I'm designing the layout of the series moving forward while I'm recording this. So if I pause, it's because of that. One of my favorite, shows as a kid, and I occasionally even watch old episodes, nowadays, is the, season 1 through 10 of, Power Rangers. So, Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Alien Rangers, Turbo, which Power Rangers Turbo is one of my favorite movies. Time Force, Wild Force, and that's where I kind of dropped off from the Power Rangers stuff. My favorite, like, out of those, like, 4 series, my favorite, I rank them, like, the second half of Wild Force, where the giraffe Megazord and, like, the new sets of Wild Zords, Turbo, and then Time Force, or Mighty Morphin, then Time Force. Those are my 4 best Power Rangers series, in my opinion. And also, harking back to movies, the Power Rangers movie that came out when they rebooted it, like in 2016, I think, I thought it was actually a good movie. It's a shame that they teased Tommy, but then probably aren't gonna do anything more with it. It had a lot of potential. I'll also be covering, like, if there's any news that pops up, gaming-wise, and I want to do a video on it, I'll do a video on it. It'll probably be, like, under this series, because I plan on doing a review series, like, probably record that, the first episode of that, like, next week, being the Doom Patrol one. But yeah, that's gonna be mostly, like, my reviews of stuff. That should be fun. Oh yeah, and if you haven't noticed, I love gradients. Like, I think they're really cool if they're done correctly. Gradients and strokes. Like, strokes around words in Photoshop or an image. I think that's a good font. I'll start having guests on when I truly want to. Like, it may not be for until, like, episode 5 or 10 even. Going back to the Power Rangers thing I said, with Power Rangers Wild Force, why I gravitate towards that when I say it's, like, when I've only had this happen once, where someone asked me what Power Rangers series was my favorite. But yeah, so I believe that the Zords they get in the second half of this, like, series, like the elephant, giraffe, and the others, are honestly better Zords than the original ones they have in like the first half, being like episode 1 onwards. I want this channel to be a beacon of positivity within like the PokeTuber community, and since I'm not doing just Pokemon, just any community my video reaches. The baseball season has started as well, and I'm surprisingly from New York and a Pirates fan, and I'm really happy with how the Pirates have been doing to start the season. They have a winning record. It's actually a funny story how I became a Pirates fan. Around like 12 years ago, I was up at my grandmother's, and I went to, like, me and my brother and my grandmother went to Walmart, and because of like good grades, I think it was, she let us get like a game each, and I don't know why, I just decided to pick up MLB Baseball 2K9 for the PS2, and I had my PS2 up there. I was using a small TV, and so I immediately started playing it when we got back to my grandma's house, and I wanted to do a franchise. The first, I wasn't really, like, I didn't really know logos per se. I was into baseball. Like, my dad has always had the Yankees on constantly during the season. So, yeah, I knew through watching the Yankees and SportsCenter. It's also a weird story how the whole SportsCenter thing happened, and why that's like a staple of my life. So I jump into the game, and I wanted to do a franchise with a team that wasn't the Yankees. I wanted to do a National League team because I thought like pitchers hitting would be cool. Is cool, and like, yeah, I don't like the DH at all. That's another story. So yeah, I think I hit randomize, and it landed on the Pirates, or as I was scrolling between the teams, I saw the Pirates logo with the skull and crossbones, and I thought that was cool. So yeah. And whenever I play a baseball game nowadays, I just choose the Pirates, even though they're not that strong lineup. lineup wise, they're still my favorite team. I also like the Tampa Bay Bucks of the NFL is one of my favorite teams. Really weird, I know. Like, my two favorite teams in the NFL are the Bucks and Cincinnati Bengals. Also, why? Like, the Bengals situation is truly like the Pirates situation. Like, I was playing Madden, wanted to do a franchise, noticed that the Cincinnati Bengals helmets were cool, so I picked them, and they're my favorite team. I'm also like so I could probably tell you, I could name like 10 players off of any sports team. Just give me the year, and some like some years it's 5, but like I gotta say, like 2005 onward to like 2017, I can any sports team, I can tell you at least 5 players that were on that team, and maybe sometimes a random fact. The sport I'm really big into is hockey and the NHL. Also, going back to movies one final time in this episode, the Mighty Ducks trilogy, I know like the third one isn't as good as the second and first one, but like combined as a trilogy, they're my favorite like movie series that includes like movie series as in like the Harry Potter movies. And I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, so I can't say like how good they are. But yeah, Harry Potter's solid. Also, I want to find a way I can emulate Dr. Mario, because I want to show you my skills with Dr. Mario. Like, yeah, and I'm really good at Tetris too, and they're kind of similar. One final thing. I'm really into fighting games, as you probably realize through me saying, like, talking about Injustice and how I want to be good at Mortal Kombat. And I'm still kind of on the fence about Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. I think the roster's a bit weak, really. I did a poll a few, days ago, asking people if they used the left analog stick, or in a traditional fighting game, the left analog stick or the D-pad. I strongly think that the D-pads, depending on what console you're playing on, like, if you're on a PS4 or something, the D-pad might not be that good, but using an Xbox, One controller, I don't use the left stick at all, and I think I'm kind of in the minority. Through, a debate standpoint, which one is better. I just don't know how someone, in a non-traditional fighting game like Smash, or I know people don't play this or have never heard of this, but PlayStation All-Stars. It's PlayStation All-Stars is a kind of a PlayStation Smash clone with the PlayStation mascots, like Sly Cooper, which is a really fantastic game. Nathan Drake is in it. Kratos. Sadly, Crash is not in it. Parappa the Rapper is, though. Gaming wise, my favorite series of all time, and I said this in the episode of Gold, my favorite series of all time, gaming wise, is Kingdom Hearts. My second favorite series is I gotta say, probably Sly Cooper. And I don't really know a third I've really gravitated towards. Because most of the games I owned before I I got a PS3 were sports games. Maybe wait no, the Arkham series is 2 and then Sly is 3. I'm still I know the ending of Arkham Knight. I have yet to beat Arkham Knight though. Having like I've heard I've seen people talk about theories. What's the next game that Rocksteady's working on? Hopefully it's something like Arkham, but without Batman, but with I've heard people say Green Arrow or Superman, which I don't think would work. A Green Arrow, Arkham-esque series, I would that would just be amazing. I also think that I want Shazam to be used more. Partly because Shazam's my favorite, DC character of all time. That's because of Injustice, Gods Among Us. Shazam was my main, then he died. And that's why he's not in Injustice 2. Which, speaking of Injustice 2, I don't think the DLC gets enough credit. If you think about it, having guest characters alone. I mean, one of the 2 Mortal Kombat characters that were guest characters. One of them turned out to be my main. The other one I'm pretty good with, but not top tier level of excellent. But when you think about it, Starfire was finally in Injustice. People wanted Beast Boy, but he didn't get in. He will probably be in 2 or 3. Hopefully as a main, part of the main roster. But maybe not. And Red Hood was highly requested. be honest, I played Red Hood like first 2 months he came out, and then didn't touch him. Sub-Zero, which turned out to be my main. Sub-Zero, my mains in Injustice 2 were Sub-Zero. If Sub wasn't working, I'd go to Starfire. Or, no, I'd go to... Going back to the DLC, and people saying it wasn't that strong. Pack 1 was Starfire, Sub-Zero, and Red Hood. Pack 2 was Black Manta, Hellboy, and then Raiden. Pack 3 was probably, I gotta say, the weakest. But what really pulls it up is the last character that got released. The first character was Enchantress. I played like a ton using her, and then she's still kind of one of my pocket mates. Adam, who I was fairly good at with using. And last but not least, one of my mains, all 4 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so, to explain how they worked, there was gear in Injustice 2, and depending on what accessory that loadout had, like a loadout had, was determined what turtle you were. So if you had nunchucks, you were, like, you used Mikey. And you could switch them out, too. Like, if you had a sword, just put the sword in the accessory slot, and Leo would be the turtle. And the staff for Donatello, and the sai for Raphael. I didn't end up using Raph a lot. Like, he to me wasn't that strong of a character. Mikey was my main. Towards the end, towards when I stopped playing, I was getting really good with Leonardo. And Donatello was kind of a zoner. Like, he had one string that was back to 3, and that was his best string. Because he also had, part of his character power was to, he threw down a like drone thing, and it would break, and then your opponent wouldn't be allowed to jump, so that was kind of broken. I could talk about Injustice for about 2 hours. But I'm really excited to see, because there's a combat cast tomorrow for Noob and what I think is two other characters, at least one other character. But like, I'm really excited to see what Noob Saibot like has in his moveset and his special moves. And so yeah, I've been Duke Diglett.